After Titanic, if people believed in any ship, it was the MV Explorer. This was the world's first cruise ship that was specially built to sail through ice. Its performance was so impressive that it even set records for rescuing several ships in Antarctica. But on the night of November 23, 2007, in the dark and desolate Southern Ocean, an incident occurred with this ship that left the captain with no choice but to abandon it alone in the middle of the sea. Welcome back once again to TV's videos. Viewers, in the 60s, traveling to Antarctica by sea was considered almost impossible because the ocean there was filled with ice, and in such conditions, sending a normal ship there was nothing short of inviting death. But a Swedish-American businessman, Eric Lindblad, took this as a challenge and decided to build a ship that could easily travel to Antarctica so that those who dreamed of seeing Antarctica could fulfill their dream. For this purpose, a special ship was built which was 240 feet long and weighed more than 2,300 tons. This ship was named the Lindblad Explorer. If the Explorer is compared to famous ships like the Titanic or the RMS Olympic, it was definitely smaller than them, but in terms of strength, it was unmatched. It was the first cruise ship ever built with the purpose of taking passengers on a journey through the icy waters of Antarctica. Normally, regular ships cannot do this job. If ships ever have to go into icy seas, an icebreaker is attached to their front. But this was an Ice Class 1A ship, meaning it didn't need an icebreaker to travel through ice. In fact, its bow was designed in such a way that the ship's own weight would break the ice as it moved forward. This ship had space for 104 passengers and 54 crew members. Along with all the luxury facilities on the cruise ship, there was another feature that added to the prestige of the MV Explorer. It was specially built for journeys to Antarctica, and to protect it from the ice there, its hull was constructed with a double layer. As soon as it was launched, this ship became famous all over the world, and people began to dream of boarding it to travel to Antarctica. Originally, it was named Lindblad Explorer, but over time, the ship's owners kept changing. In 2004, it was finally bought by the Toronto-based travel company Gap Adventures, who renamed it MV Explorer. After that, it would not come under the ownership of anyone else. No one could have imagined that something like this would happen, not even in their wildest dreams. Until 2007, the MV Explorer had completed 250 successful voyages, but in November of that same year, it was about to embark on a journey from which it would never return. It was November 2007, and the MV Explorer was fully prepared for its 19-day voyage. It was set to depart from the city of Ushuaia in Argentina. The route was to pass through the Falkland Islands, then South Georgia Island, and finally reach Antarctica. On November 11, 2007, 100 passengers and 54 crew members once again set out on the MV Explorer for this beautiful journey to Antarctica. Up to this point, everything was going smoothly. No one had any idea that this wonderful trip was about to push them into a disaster. The captain of the MV Explorer 49 The captain, Bengt Wiman, was 49 years old. He had sailed ships through these icy waters thousands of times, and it was because of this experience that the passengers felt safe. But no matter how experienced the captains of Antarctic ships are, due to the ever-changing conditions there, they have to face different problems every time, and each journey brings a new challenge for them. At the start of this journey, Captain Bengt Wiman made a surprising decision. He wanted to take the ship off its planned route and follow a new path. The captain believed that by doing so, they might be able to avoid the areas with heavier ice and reach their destination more safely. The first 10 days went exactly as usual. The captain decided to take the ship off its planned route to avoid heavy ice and reach their destination safely. The first 10 days passed normally, but on the evening of November 22nd, as the sun set and passengers prepared to head to their cabins, the MV Explorer entered an area where there was ice present. The captain made an announcement that they were passing through an icy area, so due to the ice repeatedly hitting the ship, there would be noise and everyone would have to bear it for the night. Because of the darkness, the captain reduced the ship's speed to just 5 knots, which is about 10 kilometers per hour. Slowly, the ship was moving out of a thin layer of ice and heading toward an area with thicker and older ice. But the captain did not realize this because it was already 10 o'clock at night and But the captain did not realize this because it was already 10 o'clock at night and not much could be seen. Around midnight, the ship suddenly came to a halt with a loud noise. At first, no one understood what had happened, but then it was discovered that the ship had stopped after colliding with a hard block of ice. Since the captain had already made an announcement, many passengers did not pay attention to the sound and continued sleeping. Managed to get it running again. The MV Explorer was now once again cutting through the ice, moving forward in the frozen sea. But neither the captain nor the passengers on board knew that a hole had formed in the ship's hull and water had slowly started to accumulate in the lower part of the ship. The sleeping passengers woke up when water started to fill their cabins. Because the passenger cabins were in the lower part of the ship, the water reached there first. Seeing this, a wave of fear suddenly swept through the passengers. Everyone started running here and there to save their lives. Now water was entering the ship from every possible place, whether it was the light switch, duct vent, or cracks in the doors. By the time the captain became aware of this, many cabins had already filled with water. At first, he thought that maybe it was a minor damage that could be controlled, but as the water pressure kept increasing, the captain also realized that the situation was now out of control. The captain immediately ordered the evacuation of the ship and decided to deploy all the lifeboats. Meanwhile, the ship had managed to get out of the icy area, but due to the accumulation of water, it had tilted to one side. The crew members were busy evacuating the ship quickly and saving lives. The ship was 46 kilometers away from its destination, and reaching there with a damaged ship was impossible. On the other hand, the problem was that the Antarctic Sea was extremely cold due to the ice, and because of the chilly winds it was not possible to stay on the lifeboats for long. That's why the captain started sending SOS signals to other ships near the Explorer. These signals were sent to ships named National Geographic Endeavour and Nord-Norge. But these ships were also quite far away, and it was not possible for them to reach here immediately. Gradually, water started accumulating in the MV Explorer's separator room. This is the room where all the ship's machinery is located. In other words, the entire ship is powered from this room. Because water filled this room, all electricity on the MV Explorer was now shut down. Now, in the middle of Antarctica's icy ocean, the MV Explorer stood all alone in complete darkness. Its engines had stopped, and now the ship was at the mercy of the ocean waves. While the captain was worried about evacuation, another thought was now troubling him as well. If the ship's engine was not restarted, strong winds and waves could push the ship back into the icy region. Due to the electrical failure, they tried to start the engine manually. Fortunately, this idea worked and the engine started up again. The crew members sped up the process of evacuating the ship even more. In just a short while, everyone on board got into 4 lifeboats and descended into the freezing cold water. For a while, the captain and a few crew members, manual starting worked and the engines restarted. Evacuation accelerated. Soon all boarded 4 lifeboats into the freezing water. The captain and crew tried stabilizing the ship, but the engines failed again. As water filled the MV Explorer, the captain decided to abandon ship. The remaining crew joined the lifeboats. Now, over 150 people waited in the freezing southern ocean as cold winds worsened their plight. For the next 4 hours, they all evacuated. Finally, the Nord-Norge arrived, the ship to which the captain had sent the SOS call. All the people were successfully rescued, but it seemed that sinking was inevitable for the MV Explorer. An investigation team concluded the loss resulted from Captain Bennett Women's error regarding the ice, mistakenly thought was thin first-year ice and took the ship into that area, was actually a thick layer of multi-year ice. Today, the wreck of the MV Explorer lies 25 miles southeast of Penguin Island at a depth of 1,300 meters. We hope you will also like and share this video from ZemTV wholeheartedly. The MV Explorer sank in thick ice and rests 1,300 meters deep near Penguin Island.